These are the games that can drive fans insane. These are the games where a result has serious consequences.
Between Galatasaray and Fenerbahçe, there's always hatred.
No one's going to want to lose.
There are two religions in Turkey, Islam and football.
Well, football is life in Turkey, that's for sure.
These are derby days. This time I'm in Istanbul for a game that's rarely less than explosive. It's Galatasaray, it's Fenerbahçe, expect fireworks.
When Fenerbahçe and Galatasaray playing, the life stops, you know, everything stops.
This whole day derby is going on.
And with it being the derby, the super derby, the city will just come alive.
I will try to tell you the atmosphere, but if you live in that atmosphere, you will understand what I mean.
Yani bizden öte Türkiye için Galatasaray-Fenerbahçe derbisi, Türkiye'de o gün ne olursa olsun, bu politik, sosyal hiç fark etmiyor. Her şey o gün unutuluyor.
Normal bir maçın dışında bir maçtır.
To the rest of the world, Turkish football, and in particular the Istanbul derby, has a reputation for crowd trouble and violence that's almost unparalleled.
There's always this undercurrent of violence.
There are always troubles, there are always windows smashed and objects thrown on the pitch.
Crowd trouble, sometimes when people get stabbed or killed even.
It will come up to a point, then everything will be uncontrollable.
But as always on derby days, it's not about reputations. I want to get to know the fans of these clubs, find out what football in this city is really like, and experience derby day in Istanbul for myself. Despite being in the same city, these two clubs are actually situated on different continents, with Galatasaray based in Europe and Fenerbahçe based on the other side of the Bosphorus Straits in Asia.
They're two of the oldest Turkish football clubs, you know, they were founded even before the Republic was founded.
When we talk about history, Galatasaray is the history. We started from a school in 1481. We are one of the oldest schools in the region, even in Europe. The Galatasaray club became independent in 1905.
Fenerbahçe started in actually 1899, but it was shut down by the Ottoman Empire. And then it restarted, and when it was founded officially was 1907.
Both sides have this mentality of playing against the foreign teams and getting one over them. But after years, they become, you know, their biggest rivals.
When researching the derby, you can't help but come across the history of violence that surrounds this fixture. Whether it's on the pitch, in the stands, or outside the stadium, it seems to be a derby that really can't avoid conflicts.
Last year, a young Fenerbahçe fan was murdered.
Burak Yildirim had been stabbed by allegedly Galatasaray fans after the game.
And I don't know the problem, but when these things happen, it kills all the mood, you know?
It's really difficult to see why there is this much hatred.
In Turkey, in the traffic lights, okay, when it's green, you stop and the other guy will say, hey, it's green, why do you stop? And you can have a fight. So in a country like this, with a full of tension and like passion, this creates the violence.
In fact, in recent years, the problem is now being deemed so bad that away fans can no longer attend this fixture.
In the early 2000s, both fans were allowed to the stadiums and away fans were tortured.
In order to stop and to avoid public clashes in the stadiums, we, Turkish Federation, with the support of the clubs, decided to ban the other parties' fans to come and to look the match together.
In the rival games, opponent supporters cannot come to the stadium, or we cannot go to their stadium.
The away fans?
The away fans, yes, opponent fans. Like for example, here, Sunday we will play in Galatasaray Stadium and none of our supporters can go to their stadium because it's banned from the government and they say it's dangerous.
The way they rationalize it is they say there's too much fan violence, so we don't want them confronting each other.
When you abandon the opponent team, it's like inside the stadium you're screaming for your own team and nobody's teasing you over there. It kills a little bit the mood of the derbies, you know. I like to see opponents in our stadium. I like to go to their stadium because the best games in the world are the away derby games. If you go to away derby games, it's the climax of the passion.
It's a total failure in managing the sport by the Turkish Football Federation and the authorities.
So we won't be seeing anyone in the Fenerbahçe colours, the blue and yellow. We won't be seeing
not near the stadium.
But the supporters want this rule change. Even Galatasaray supporters and Fenerbahçe supporters. Maybe this is the only thing we can be together.
It's always seemed strange to me that a city as vast, as varied and as civilised as Istanbul could be home to such trouble. So I want to know if this might be a case of the media blowing things out of proportion.
I shot my film in 2004-2005 season, and there was absolutely no violence in those days. I mean, violence takes place, number one, only if the club officials provoke the situation beforehand.
This kind of violence always comes after bad directors, bad behaviors. When the director speaks against the other clubs in a very bad way, it irritates the opponent supporters.
Club board members and the media, actually they're like, during the course of the season, they are just fueling the fire actually. Yeah?
They shouldn't behave like a supporter. I can talk bad about Galatasaray, okay? I'm a fan, I'm in the stadium, but if I'm a director on a TV, and if I talk bad about Galatasaray, this will irritate all of their supporters and they will start talking bad about us. So this will conflict in one point and it will create violence, definitely.
Outside it can still be really hateful, so there can be some ugly and bad scenes.
But right now, I'm so sure if Galatasaray fan supporters, 2 of 3, will walk in front of this stadium, nothing will happen. 10 years ago, yes, things will happen, but right now things are changing.
One striking example of Istanbul's football fans coming together was seen last year during the protests against the Erdogan government, initially sparked by plans to demolish Gezi Park. Fans from the city's 3 major clubs, Galatasaray, Fenerbahçe and Beşiktaş, put aside their differences and gave their support to the protesters.
What started an initial sit-in protest, a peaceful tree-hugging protest, it turned into the massive anti-government protest because a group of 50 people were objected to police violence.
People died, young people died. When the cops attacked the guys in the park in the middle of the night burning their trees, it triggered everything inside. If the cops didn't go to the park and attack the people there while they're sleeping, I don't think this Gezi Park will be that big.
It just irritated everybody.
Yanlış anlaşılmalar oldu ki burada da çok güzel zamanlar oldu. Fenerbahçe, Galatasaray, Beşiktaş taraftarı birlik, beraberlik içindeydi hep burada. Hani bunları canlı gözle görmek mümkündü burada olanlar için.
Here are 3 fans that, on match day would hate each other. Maybe even fight each other if they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. But here they were kind of, united as one, differences aside, the important thing is their country and, regardless of what football team they support, that really comes first.
It was a beautiful message of coming together and united we stand, divided we fall. Actually, that was how it came to life in the protests.
That's the only place where we became a union. And I think if it happens again, we will be a union, we will be one body there again. But when it comes to the pitch, when it comes to the stadium, everything will change definitely.
Whether or not this reputation for violence is fair, it really seems as though football is something through which the people of Istanbul can express themselves in a way that they otherwise might not be able to.
I believe wherever corruption and injustice exists, football not only becomes a tranquilizer, but it also becomes the source of empowerment for the people.
Ben kendimi başka bir yerde ifade edemiyorum. Ne bir parti çalışmasında, ne bir sendika çalışmasında, ne de bir herhangi bir gönüllü yardım kuruluşunda.
In Turkey, there's so much corruption, there's so much injustice that you feel powerless. You feel like you're overlooked by your government. You're not liked by your government. You're not trusted by your government. You're not trusted by your employer. You don't get paid fairly. But you go to the stadium, you yell out the name of the player, and the player comes to you, and there's a mutual display of respect and love.
There are some people politically just opposite of my thoughts, lifestyle opposite of my thoughts. But when we're in the stadium, when somebody scores for us, we just hug each other and jump, you know.
In the middle of the game, you feel like you've influenced the outcome of the game, and then you scream out and you say, "I exist."
For my short time alone in Istanbul, I've already got a sense of the way they live. The Turkish, and in particular those who live in Istanbul, live life to the max. It just has me anticipating the atmosphere that's going to be at Galatasaray's home ground when tens of thousands of them are spurring on their home team for a derby win.
Everything will be focused on the derby.
The atmosphere you will see here is something you will never see in your life, trust me.
People are living derby.
It's the passion of England, and the passion of Turks is just a complete, you know, another universe, let alone another world.
İki taraf için de özel bir gün olduğu için.
Something like if you prepare you for a war.
So usually we have to head outside the stadium to pick up the atmosphere, as you would have seen, but we've just walked out of our hotel. We're a 2-hour walk from the stadium, and this is going off. I've seen some derby atmospheres, but this is a different level. You can't hear something. Every corner of the city has been taken over by Derby Day. They say that the Turkish, they celebrate differently than everyone else. Well, we're seeing it already with hours to go. This is insanity. The next level, next level. Check it out for yourself. Look, take a look. From everything we've experienced on the way here, this is going to be the best one. I mean, it sounds like there's an army in there. Look, what we've done, Dortmund 80,000. We've done, you know, Rome had 80,000, but even though this has got 60, it sounds like all of them combined. I don't know, maybe it's the Turkish spirit, but these guys are doing something different here. Honestly, I think inside it's going to be something on a different level. Istanbul, thank you. That is what you want from a derby. 10 odd yellow cards. I actually lost count. 2 send-ins off. Snyder gets in a fight with the keeper, and of course a winner to the home team, which sends the stands into a frenzy. 55,000 people bouncing at once. Imagine flares constantly, whether there was a goal or offside, it didn't matter. That's what went on in there for 90 minutes. You know, they've told us this is a release for the people of Istanbul. They scream, they shout, they make it clear that Galatasaray is their everything. How could that have been beaten? Well, I'm not quite sure. Perhaps the only way that derby could have been any more of a spectacle if Fenerbahçe, the away fans, were able to have their presence and influence and be part of what is Istanbul and actually Turkey's most beautiful showcase. That's it from us here in Istanbul. Next up, it's the big one. We've left perhaps the most vicious to last. It's Red Star, it's Partizan, it's the Belgrade Derby, and we're going to be capturing it all, just like here in Turkey. So, if you want to check it out, or any of our derbies across Europe, you know what you're going to do. Subscribe to Copenhagen, where the game around Europe, around the world, never stops. Sha la la la la la la la la. One world, one game.